Okay, ready to go? Sure. Okay, well, good morning from the WC O'Neill Arena. My name's Murray, and with me is Leslie Ann. We're going to try and give you some insight into the game being played today at the U18 National Championship. And leading us off is Quebec, and their lead, Justin Adam.
Looks like Justin is going to be trying to throw in dirt.
Yeah, some good sweeping by the teammates, and it looks like a midway point center guard, a zone 2 type of thing. So
the lead from PEI is Colin McKenzie.
And Colin's been asked to bring one into the rings, back behind the T-line, back 8. So kind of a
Defensive play?
Defensive type play. Not a lot of risk in play, just to see if the Quebec team will chase and or if they'll go on the offense. It looks a little bit light. It might end up being a corner guard. So we got a couple guards already, and so it looks like we might get some offense right off the bat.
And the second for Quebec is Bruno Dubois.
Yeah. Well, we're still in the we're still into lead stones. Yeah. So we're going to play a come around now around the center guard. Quebec is throwing Red Rocks and PEI yellow. On the boys' side. That was a pretty good come around, let's say, and it's top 4. So game on. Yeah. Yeah, nobody's touched it yet. Might be a little bit warm. You know, tendency when you throw your first one light is the second one's a little bit heavy, but see if it'll stop in time. No, unfortunately, went through.
So this is the second annual U18 event. The first one was in Moncton.
Yeah, that was last year was a great event for the for hosting first ever U18s.
So this is now the second for Quebec throwing, and it's Bruno Dubois.
Yeah, not sure of this call. It almost looked like they were calling around the PEI corner, which I'm not sure is a play. When you had center guard plus 1 top 4, you would have thought they would have tried to guard that or even come in a second one going.
And sometimes I think they may try to force one.
Right, yeah, maybe that's their goal of the end. Y2 to force one.
So this gives PEI another chance.
Yeah. And it looks like PEI switch gears. They're going to try and play a hack weight hit on the top 4 Red Rock. Nice shot.
That's a great shot.
Yeah. Maybe a little more weight than what was called, but removed the shot stone, and the PEI yellow rock went out of the rings as well. So mission accomplished. Got rid of that dangerous rock in the top 4.
So this event now has 5 sheets of ice at the arena, and then
12 boys teams and 14 girls teams. So each draw has 8 games going on at once. So it's pretty busy. Lots of people in the stands.
Lots of parents cheering.
Yeah. That's what I like about these events. You see the parents and the grandparents and siblings, and they all have the provincial colors on and the noisemakers and stuff. It's just exciting for these young people.
PEI are now going to try to clear the front.
Yeah, that Quebec rock to replace the top 4 came up light, so now the front's pretty cluttered. We're going to try and do a double peel, and looks like the second rock. Yeah, looks like they got it just out.
It's a great shot.
Very good shot. So now nothing out front, just that one red rock biting the back. Yeah, it looks like. And that's the third for Quebec, Philippe Simard. Looks like it's going to stop in the back of the rings.
This will give PEI a chance.
Yeah.
So they can either play the hit or they can try to draw.
Right, there still is a chance for them to get a deuce here. So a good freeze here will help. They'll have rocks behind the tee line and guards.
And they also have then front of the house access for a draw to get their deuce if they need.
Exactly. We can. Okay. So it looks like Nicholas Johnson played a very good shot. He's in around behind the corner guard. Maybe not quite shot rock, though.
Looks like Quebec is going to come down on top of the yellow or try to move it a little tiny bit.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Quebec's come up a little short on that. Now I think PEI is going to try to come around again. Second one in there.
Yeah, they've got a good situation with Quebec coming up light, giving them sort of a guard to come around.
The sweepers are stepping back a bit, so it may be a little bit heavy.
Looks a little bit warm, yeah. Yeah, just into the back 12. We're at the other end. It looks to me like Red Quebec is still lying shot with PEI yellow, yeah, second and possibly third.
So they have a couple of options right here. They can either hit the second one out, which will force PEI to make a decision to come down.
Yeah, a lot of the shots, would be based on what the goal is. If they want to force PEI to take one and then have hammer in the second end, they probably hit this and lie two. Uh, if they wanted to try and steal, they probably would have kept the center clogged up. So it looks like they're playing for a force here.
Force one is always a good try.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Yep.
Okay.
Skip.
Okay, the sweepers are going on the rock right now, and hopefully.
Okay, there he's playing the hit. Looks like a good shot. Just a little bit roll back to center, and looks like they're sitting 1-2 now.
That's a great shot by Quebec. So I think the PEI guys now are still going to come try to draw around.
They're still trying to get their dues. Use whatever advantage they can.
Which is great. And then again, they still have the full house access to the draw if needed for their last shot.
Yeah, they played this end well. They took play to the sides, and that's what you want to do when you have a hammer. Take play to the wings and keep the middle open for your last shot.
Your last shot. And the skip for PEI is Mitchell Shoot.
Yeah. Okay, the sweepers haven't really touched it. Just a little cleaning. Trying to get that draw weight down. T-line behind a guard would be a good spot.
This looks like a nice shot here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a great shot.
Just a little bit of a rub off of that red rock of Quebec, and it's in the 8-foot. It is shot, but I think it's open. I think it's pretty accessible.
Quebec are going to try to hit this. They need to be careful of the jam.
Yeah, if they can hit it and roll towards the middle, they should be able to shoot it through those two red rocks.
I would say with this ice, they're probably going to throw like a board or
yeah, it looks to me like
weight.
a nice board control. You don't have to overthrow this at all. Give it to the sweepers to
bring it through the sweepers.
Yep, so that they can help guide it to hit the rock where you want to hit it. I think with young people, especially young men, they really want to throw the big weight, and yeah, they might make the hit, but it's hard to control the shooter with the big weight. So this looks like a really nice weight.
It's a nice soft weight.
Yeah. Good sweeping. Right through the hole.
Great shot by Quebec.
Yeah. So Quebec's done their job. They're going to force to 1, and PEI Skip will have a full 4-foot, full 8-foot probably to get his 1, but you always want to tell them to throw to T-line so that they can.
Today the kids are such good sweepers. They do a lot of exercise and a lot of training for the sweeping. So as a skip, you need to trust your sweepers and know that they can get it there for you.
Exactly.
These kids today are starting at a younger and younger age, and they do a lot of off-ice training and summer training, and a lot of them are going to the gym now as a program. So it's amazing to see how much work and effort that these people put into the game.
Oh, for sure, yeah. They really work hard. Even on the mental side of it, there's a little bit more of that in curling now, and high-performance camps and things. So.
And this is why this event is so amazing, because we have the kids that are 18 and under and get the experience of a national event. So it's nice.
Yep. This looks like a perfect draw ending up in the 4-foot. So PEI scored their
1.
Yep. Okay, we're starting the second end. They got the rocks cleared quickly, and they're ready to go. PEI is calling for it to top 4. They're playing a defensive type shot, not really wanting to mix it up just yet.
No, so let's see now if Quebec is going to go and hit. Yep, so Quebec is going to try to nose hit this one. Maybe. So the purpose of this is to blank this in. Murray, I think
Yeah, it looks like they're playing, if they would have thrown up a corner guard and used the free guard zone to their advantage, then we would be saying they'd try for their deuce, but looks to me like they're playing this one open. Hit nose, or even if they hit and roll to the side a bit, that's fine. And this saves a little bit of time on the clock too, because they're not having to play complicated shots around guards and taps and freezes. So.
And a lot of times the teams like to take a couple of ends to be comfortable with the ice, so they find that if they just throw hits up and down, they can get more comfortable with what they're doing.
Exactly. Yeah. So we might have one of those ends of hit, hit, hit.
It's amazing to watch the kids sweep. They're great sweepers. They can hold the rock a long way.
Yeah. Okay, so the hit and roll out gives Quebec a chance to say, okay, let's try to play some offense. They're going to put a corner guard up.
And this is good to see where they can actually switch gears, that if one shot is not made, that they can actually change their game plan. So originally they just wanted to try to blank the end, but because the rock rolled out, now they can turn around and throw up a corner guard.
Yeah, I think we were talking about that just before coming on air, and it's a matter of recognizing when you get some opportunity. So there was an opportunity to go from defense to offense, and if they get another miss, they could try to set up for their 2 points.
So PEI will have an option now to either peel the guard out, or they may even try to come around. And they're going to peel the guard away.
Yep, they're going to keep it open. That's how they started the end, so they're sticking with their end plan.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we got a little bit of a miss there. We PEI removed the opposition's rock, but they stayed there for a corner guard themselves.
Okay, so I think Quebec now are going to try to come around the guard, and this way they may be able to force their deuce. Then they'll get their deuce.
Okay, so the sweepers are on and off this, coming around the corner. Looks like a good line. I think they're sweeping for line and for weight. Oh, they got it by.
Great sweeping.
Great job. Great job. Yep.
So I think they can see a bit of the red rock. So the option here would be, if you're going to go, you could go a little bit tight and then get the guard off. So the pro side miss on this would be tight to the guard.
Tight to the guard. If you're going to miss shot rock, you want to get rid of the guard.
Okay, the PEI guys are sweeping.
Yeah. Okay, so they did get a half shot there, but they ended up removing the guard. So it does give Quebec a chance to split the rings and lie two, or if they want to be more aggressive, to put another guard up, guard the one rock in the rings.
So it looks like that they're going to try to split the house, though. So this will be.
Yeah, this is a lot. This is a good move. It's not as the chances of scoring two are pretty good if you split the rings. And by putting another guard up, you're trying to get more than two. And sometimes I think they overdo that.
Yeah, and in the later ends, I think that's probably a lot better if they need a few extra points. But right now in the second end, this is a great call.
Yeah, it's excellent. They've swept it perfectly. It's pretty much even with the other one.
It's a great shot by Quebec. So what PEI are going to do now, are they actually going to try to hit and roll? And this way, if it rolls closer, they can eventually get a couple of rocks where a double may come into play.
That's it. Try to get them as close as they can now.
So you don't necessarily have to be shot rock. You want to now get your rocks in positions where hopefully a double will come into play, and then you can actually force them to on, or they'll blank the end.
Okay, they're going to try to make it curl a bit, but like with that bigger weight, it's pretty hard to do. So hitting on the outside of the rock would roll out, so it gives Quebec another chance to work on their draw weight and split the rings again.
So updates across the ice: Saskatchewan, Alberta on sheet A, where there was a blank in the first end. And then BC, New Brunswick also blanked the first end. And it looks like BC and Ontario also. So everybody, first ends, all blanked. And they hang on the back, so they're still sitting their deuce. PEI are going to try another hit and roll.
They're going to try and hit and roll in front of it. And the object there, if they can hit and roll in front, and then if Quebec removes their rock, there's a chance for a jam. Must be close. They've had both sweepers on and off. Oh, you might even get a double out of it. Okay.
Great shot.
Yeah. Yeah, good call there on the line. I think the hit and roll was going to be too thin for that, and they called the double after that. So good plan B, and well done by everybody on the team. Good team shot.
Quebec will draw to the 12-foot, where a place where somebody probably hasn't thrown a rock yet. So
yeah,
they'll start moving put rocks in different places in the house.
Yeah, they have the chance now to check some paths, different paths on the ice, see how it's running, see how much the curl is, speed.
The ice here is really nice. I think it's running around 14 and a half.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And I think over
good curl. Yeah.
Yeah.
We just saw off the center line there about maybe 4.5 feet, I think. And so, yeah, we'll get the stopwatch out and do a couple of ends here.
So the PEI they're going to try to nose this now, so we can.
Yeah, they want to stay in the rings and force Quebec to make a tough shot to. And what PEI is hoping is, unfortunately, was a little bit wide on that and flashed the hit. So now advantage goes back to Quebec, and they can set up for their 2 again.
So again, they'll do the same thing. They'll split the rings. This will give them the advantage, and hopefully then they can hopefully get their deuce.
Yeah, you're always trying to get 2 with hammer, and anything more than that's kind of a bonus. But so split the rings and get that nice easy deuce, as they say. Not a lot of stress in it. Not a lot of coming around guards or freezing.
This looks like it's going to be good.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to make it even with the other one. Top 12, off to the side, perfect shot.
So PEI has a couple of options here. Again, they can hit and roll.
Yeah, it looks like they're Trying to figure out where the roll, how much, where they have to put the broom to get the right roll. They're going to have to roll about 4, 8 feet. Pretty precise shot. But make sure we hit first, unfortunately, in his first one.
Get out to the broom.
Yep. Hit first and roll second.
These teams look like they're evenly matched, so it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Yeah, like you said, all across the board, everybody started out with kind of an open
game plan.
Yep. Just get used to the ice, get the jitters out. Some of these teams are playing for their first time, or a good majority. Now there's another. Okay, they held it. Unfortunately, tried too hard for the roll and rolled out themselves. That's another thing that you know, the coaches will be talking to them about. You definitely want to hit and roll, but you want to make sure you keep your shooter in the rings and force the opponent to a tougher shot. So they'll get used to that. They'll get used to the ice. Maybe it's curling more than they're used to.
And I like that the Quebec skip is taking the exact same path because he just threw this shot, so he's going to do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
He knows the path, he knows the weight, so it's
yeah.
This is a really great call.
It's a good move. Okay, it's up to the brushers now to get it there. Oh, that's good.
Okay, they're going hard on it.
They are.
I think this is good.
I think they're good.
That's good.
They're getting used to it. I mean, they may have not played on arena ice, and the Rock might carry a little bit more than they're used to, but threw it to the top 4. They swept it there, so bank that information for when later on in the game.
Okay, so it looks like Quebec is going to go draw top 4. And for updates across the sheet, Alberta is 1, Saskatchewan, nothing. Sorry, and on sheet D, New Brunswick has scored 1. And on sheet BC it's still blanked in, so they blanked the second end.
Yeah, blanked the first and second, the ladies.
And BC Ontario ladies.
Yeah.
Okay.
They got their dues, so Quebec has decided to go on the offense. Maybe their goal is to force one. It's nice to get 2 in the even and force 1 in the odd. But their guard came up a little bit light. They wanted it tighter to the ring, so it gives Quebec or PEI a chance to come around, but they've decided to play the safer shot and take it into the rings back 8 off to the side and try to keep their opponents over on the side and not clog up the middle.
This looks like good weight. They're sweeping on and off, so it looks like this is going to be in the house.
Yeah, excellent. That's what the shot was called, and that's what the lead delivered. So now we see a difference from N1 when Quebec put up a center with their lead second rock. They came around. This time, with PEI putting 1 out in the wings, Quebec has decided to hit.
So I think they're going to try to hit and try to get a little bit of a roll.
Yeah.
But again, then this gives PEI the option that they have some options to draw down to it.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why they wanted to come deep, because any hit and roll by Quebec, their rock is going to be behind the tee line. And we always say if you want to score points, you need guards and rocks behind the tee line. And we just got a miss.
So now PEI are going to split the rings.
Yeah.
And this is the lead. Colin McKenzie from PEI.
Yep. Well, Colin's thrown most of his draws in the first couple of ends were out turns, and this is his first in turn. And we really haven't been over on this side of the sheet either. So it looks like it's a little bit warm, but might stick around. We'll see. I think it's hard to tell from our vantage point. Looks like it's just out, but it could be a biter.
Maybe a biter there.
It may be a biter there, yeah.
So Quebec is going to try to hit this yellow one again. And it looks like control weight.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the choice of control. Yeah, a nice hit and roll.
That was a great shot by Quebec.
Yeah. So they are lying one behind their guard, but it's in the back 12. So,
I think
like you say, Leslie, and the options now for PEI, they have a few options.
they can hit and roll away. They can draw down to the back of it, but I think he's looked like he's going to want to hit this one. So then they might be sitting two if that's a biter. So the PEI team comes from the Cornwall Curling Club in PEI, and Quebec's from Belvedere Curling Club.
That one was a little bit more weight than I think they needed. They hit it pretty good, but they hit and rolled out. So now, yeah, that one is they're going to, Quebec's making a play on it, so it must be a biter on the other side. But I think PEI lost a good chance there by hitting and rolling out. A little bit more control weight or board weight would have kept it in the rings.
So Murray, would another option be if they wanted to get aggressive is draw around the center guard?
Yeah, if Quebec wanted to go on the offense, they could come around that center. But they're playing this on the defensive side. Even though they put up a center guard to begin with, they switch from offense to defense pretty quickly.
Yeah, it looks like it's curling a bit down towards.
So now here's the option for PEI. Do they want to blank this end? If they do, they're going to remove the center guard. If they wanted to try and score, they'd probably come around it.
So a lot of times the teams will actually try to blank the end on the odd ends
yeah.
because that will give them a chance for a deuce.
Yeah.
In the even ends.
And it's down to team philosophy too. Every team should have their own philosophy or DNA and know what they like when in certain situations. And some teams will play for score in the even and force in the odd or try to maneuver, especially in the second half of the game. A lot of times in the first half, whenever they have hammer, they'll try to get their deuce no matter what end it is. But again, it's all about recognizing the chances that are given to them.
And these teams that are younger and a younger age
Yep.
sit down and talk about their philosophies, and they have a game plan, and they sit there and they try to stick to what their game plan is. So it's a lot of planning during the season, both on and off, where they actually have a good philosophy that they try to stick to.
Yeah, it's for sure. They're sitting with their coaches and talking about what they're best at and what they need to improve on and how they want to play a game and how they want to play each end. You see after every end they get together and they might talk about the path of the speed of the ice. They might talk about their rocks. But they're definitely talking about, well, we want to force here or we want to steal here. Or there's only a few plans. You can score when you have hammer and you can blank when you have hammer, or if you don't have hammer, you can steel or you can force. So there's not a lot of plans to choose from. It's just sticking with what you want to do in that end.
So I think PEI now are going to try to draw down to the back red. So this will give them the option of setting up their deuce again.
Yeah, so if they get a miss here, then they can get their deuce, and if they don't, they can easily blank it because those rocks are down at the bottom of the ring, so they're easily removed. But unfortunately, we're a little heavy on that. Okay, we're back. We had a little bit of a hiccup there. This is all new to us, so bear with us.
So it looks like PEI now are going to draw down again to the red. Hopefully still setting up for their deuce.
Yeah, I like the fact that they have not abandoned their plan so soon. They usually a team will say, we'll change our plan. We'll have our bail point with the second rock or the vice's first rock, but they're sticking with the plan. But again, an overcompensation. They were heavy on their first attempt, and then this one come up late.
So now Quebec has a choice. They can actually just draw around. So now this is definitely the force for one is on. Would you say, Murray?
For sure. They're very happy that came up light, and they can sit two. And you know, the old adage is the easiest way to force one is to be first and second shot. Sit two. Quebec skipper Justin Adams about to deliver.
And it looks like there's a lot of good communication going on between the teams. They're chatting about what kind of weight they're throwing.
Yeah.
I think they need to go on this. It's close to the guard.
It's close to that center guard. I think it's on the center guard now.
Okay, so we're at skip stone, so we still have the option to get our deuce. So they can get a choice of drawing back around the yellow.
Yeah, they can come around their own guard. They've just been given another corner guard. I would be playing around the corners. I wouldn't go around the center. Not take play. You don't want to take play there now at this late in the end. So try to lie one first behind one corner. And they could be doing just opposite of what we said. We'll wait and see what the shot is.
If we go around the yellow corner, then the jam is there also. So if you put it in the right position, they can think about it. Then it forces Quebec to take a look at if they go hitting, make sure that the jam is not there.
And it does look like they are coming around the center. He is throwing an intern draw, and they were out in the 8-foot. So if he's coming around the center, the only reason I don't really care for this, Leslie Ann, is that you don't want to take play and clog up the middle. You want to keep that middle open for your skip's last shot. Taking play to the middle is, I wouldn't have done this. If they're heavy, then they're going to give the other team an opportunity to take the end away from them.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is probably harder to get your deuce with this shot.
Yeah. 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 Oh, Quebec is. Oh, go ahead.
So Quebec.
Okay, the Quebec skip has chosen not to play any sort of an offensive type shot. He doesn't want to give up that deuce, so he's playing this this control weight hit on the open or partially open Yellowstone. He's successful now. If he can stay in the rings, it would be great. Definitely would set a force of 1.
Yeah, so I think this is what's going to happen. I think PEI are going to have to draw for their 1.
Yeah. And like you said earlier, at least this time he's drawing on a path that he knows. So maybe that was his reasoning for coming around the center in the first place and with his first shot. Now he knows that path. He knows the weight. The brushers know the path. I think it's important for the brushers to know the path too, because they've got to make judgments on sweeping.
I find now with the Brier and the televised events that a lot of the players now are watching the elite players, and if you notice now that your Brett Glantz and your Jeff Walkers of the world are constantly looking at paths.
Exactly.
Are constantly talking to their skips and talking to their back end and letting them know what the paths are, what the weights are.
Yeah. Yeah, whether they have to add a little bit or take a little bit off.
Yeah, I find now the front ends are getting more responsible and they have more responsibilities. And I think as coaches, a lot of times we teach them now that they're just not throwing rocks. They're a big part of the team.
Exactly. Okay, so they PEI skip made his draw for 1, and we're all tied up at 2 points each. Okay, we're just getting ready for PEI to start the 4th end.
And I would suggest PEI are probably going to go top 4. What do you think?
They might wait until the second half of the game to put a little more offense in motion, or they might do it in this 4th end, just before the break. A good tight center guard gives you lots of options. You can either come around and you can tap it up, but it depends on their goal. If their goal was to steal here, or if their goal is to force. And we've got about a midway center guard, so it's a pretty good guard. Lots of room to come around.
So both teams seem like they have the same strategy on the first rock, is they'll throw up a guard and then they'll
come in the rings and see what the other team does.
Yeah. So the Quebec team chooses, though, sometimes to go around the center guard, where the PEI team will go to the wings.
Yeah, that's and again, it's their team philosophy between the team and coach, and there's no right or wrong. It's what works best for you, what you're trying to accomplish. So I like the fact that they, these young people are already talking about and learning about their roles and what the goals of each end are.
It's a great shot there by Quebec.
Yeah. Partially buried, just biting the 8.
So this will also give PEI a chance to hit and roll, and it's a center guard, and it's another one that they can't remove yet.
That's right.
So this will work well for them.
Good try, good sweeping, just didn't quite get by the guard. So now PEI's kind of given Quebec a really good chance to get a deuce here. Lesley-Anne.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to definitely go around the yellow corner guard now. I'm really impressed, though, with the play of these athletes.
Yeah.
Some of them are well beyond their years and their abilities.
For sure, and knowing their tolerances too. You know, a couple of times we've seen already that their tolerance would be to remove a guard rather than flash by, and they've done that. And so yeah, I mean they're adjusting, making adjustments. First game, for a lot of them on arena ice with. So it's adjustment.
Heavy, yeah.
A little bit warm on that one.
So this gives PEI a chance now to hit and roll away, or they can actually try to nose it.
Yeah, nose would be good. Or nose wouldn't be on the rings, but it still would be controlling that front part of the rings. You want to do that. Control the front of the house. Okay.
Nice shot by
Good shot.
PEI.
Little biter. Quebec has to make a play on it.
So again, they're now going to try to hit and roll behind the guard. Still hoping for their deuce.
Yeah, it's still early in the end.
A lot of mistakes the junior teams make sometimes is at a younger age is that they always think they need to be shot rock.
That's right.
And we get into a lot of trouble where
that's right.
They're not thinking 4 or 5 rocks ahead.
Yeah.
So I like that the teams are doing this right now.
Yep.
So some of the more experienced teams will know that they don't need to be shot rock right away.
No. Learn how to build an end up. There's a nice hit and roll. He's trying to get behind the corner. Nice try. Really good shot.
Good sweeping by the skipper.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that the teams are really communicating with their weights.
Okay. It's got a little in-turn hit here. Edge on edge, so just got to be a little careful you don't get a little wide on this and rub the guard. But it looks pretty good. They're just having one person down cleaning. That's usually a good sign that the shot's
That's a great shot.
very good. Well done.
And I think as coaches, what we need to do is talk about the tolerance of a shot, because sometimes it's how you miss.
Exactly.
Not necessarily what you make. So I think as coaches, teaching kids how to miss the right way is huge.
Yeah, I totally agree. You know, we always want to make the shot, but
yes.
You have to know which way is the
pro miss.
The pro miss, exactly.
So instead of using a negative, you can say, how do we miss it in a pro way?
And that's a good way to put it. Excellent. Yeah, we've got some nice shots here. Nice weight, and everybody's trying to get hit and roll, but it's a little tough. But some good shots here.
So PEI are going to try to hit and roll away from it now.
Yeah, take play away from that guard and not give Quebec a chance to use it.
I'm going to.
Okay, we'll do a little timing. Little hog to hog. Let's see what kind of weight we're throwing here on this hit.
So that was just control weight.
Just got enough of it. But now by rolling out, again, we talked earlier about controlling your shooter. That's just as important as making the hit. And the hit and roll out gives Quebec a chance to really get one buried and behind that corner guard.
It looks like it's got a nice curl here, so it looks like they have
yeah.
Sweepers have their head down, they're sweeping it.
Yeah. They're trying to get a biter out of this, trying to get it to the top. They're not stopping. Really close. Good try, guys.
Just a little short here. So PEI are not going to try.
Here.
PEI are going to try to peel the guard.
Yeah, maybe they're expecting a little more curl off the center than they're getting. You've seen a few miss on the outside.
Maybe
Miss wide, sorry.
So maybe a little straighter right there.
Might be a little straighter.
Yeah.
And again, getting used to the fact that the upweight hits, the controls and normals will run straighter. You know, when you throw guards and draws, it's that last 10 feet that curls a lot. So when you throw the bigger weight, when you're throwing hits, it'll stay straighter longer. And they could be getting working on getting used to that.
So Quebec sweeping really hard on this.
Yeah, trying to get around it, or even if they tap or a split, there's a lot of options. They get the right. Oh, this is nice. They got it by.
It's great sweeping by the Quebec.
Yeah, great job.
So your option now is to draw down to the red.
Yeah, there's not many options now with the guards there. They got to try and control it by freezing down to the red and forcing to one.
That's why it's so important sometimes to make sure you're on ahead of the tee line or in front of the tee line.
Yeah, exactly.
Control the front of the house. It keeps you out of a lot of trouble.
For sure. Sure, they had to sweep to get it by, but now it's behind the tee line, and it gives
PEI that out.
Yep.
It's so nice to see so many parents support and come watch the games, and the families, brothers, sisters, grandparents.
Yeah, and I see more and more, you know, the parents and grandparents wearing the provincial jackets, and it's just so great. And here is some of the different provinces, noisemakers and moose calls and the buffaloes and all the great things that you would see at a Brier and a Scotty are here, and at this young age, U18, it's just phenomenal. These young people are. You're going to see some of these young people in the future on the world stage for sure.
I think some of the teams actually are already Canada Games eligible, and some have already made their Canada Games. I know the New Brunswick girls that are here this week are representing New Brunswick at the Canada Games in Red Deer. I think it's in Red Deer in 2019.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's another great event. The Winter Games, they get a lot of it. It's great to walk into an athlete's village in a Winter Games because they have so many different sports, maybe 20 sports going on. So when you're in amongst hockey players and other lacrosse and skiers and things of that nature, it's a great experience for these athletes.
I was lucky. I coached in Prince George, the curling, so it was an amazing, like you said, it's just an amazing environment.
Yeah.
And then and the kids get to meet other kids from different events, and they get to cheer their provinces on in different sports. It's a great community environment.
Oh yeah, it really does teach them what it's like to be in an Olympic. Really,
yes.
You're part of a big team. You're part of the provincial team, no matter what sport you play.
So it looks like now Quebec is going to draw down to his red.
Yeah.
Because PEI just came a little bit heavy on his first one.
Yeah. So he could split the rings here, like we talked about earlier. If they really got aggressive and come around their red again, try to get a 3 out of this.
They need to go on this. They want to be
second shot, first or second. If they come up a little bit light, so now they have to look and see, are they second shot or is yellow second shot?
I think yellow may be second shot.
It's hard to tell. Okay. Put the binoculars on it and see if I can tell, but
PEI needs to
I think it is PEI second. He's going to make a play on this top red one, so they must be close.
I think he's looking and see if the double is there. Do you think?
Maybe that's a pretty tough double.
It's a tough double, hey?
Yeah. Yeah, the vices are the third is lining it up. It's pretty tricky. He's got to come across the face, I think, and then.
Let's see what kind of weight he's throwing.
Yeah.
Because he has to move the 2 rocks.
Yeah, he's going to be moving 2 rocks. He'll be throwing a little bit more. Let's see what happens here. Oh, that was unfortunate. That was the danger, though, that you were going to remove your own rock, and if it was second shot, just gives Quebec a chance to draw. So Quebec really has been playing this first half of the game the way you want to. They've scored 2 with hammer, and hopefully they'll get their deuce here with hammer, and forced PEI to 1 when PEI had a hammer. So.
And I think they know this path really well, so
yeah,
they
they
just
should.
And they need full 8.
Full 8 foot, exactly. But, you know, as coaches, we always tell them throw and sweep for T-line so that they have T-line. But, yeah, full 8 will do it.
Or full 12, sorry.
Even actually
yeah,
full 12 now, yeah. Because that shot rock, or that second shot is just a biter. Yeah. But you don't like to, okay. At first they were watching it. I don't like to see 2 sweepers walking. I'd like to see 1 cleaning at all times. Weight looks good, though.
Nice draw weight.
Yeah. Good job by Quebec skipper. Good job by the sweepers too. They didn't panic and overbrush it.
So it's 4-2 for Quebec after 4.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, we're back after fourth end break.
Yeah.
Quebec is leading 4-2.
Yeah, no, I think that they would have talked about how well they've carried out their game plan. Scored 2 with hammer, forced 1 without. So that's optimal. They really have it dialed in. So let's see how they start the fifth end, and if there's any ice changes. Sometimes after the break, when they do a little mop, the ice gets a little bit quicker. Let's see if they pick up on that. But they are bringing it in. They are planning to play top 4 here.
This is a really good move because you're up by 2 points. We really don't need Garrett's in front of the house.
That's correct. Don't give the opposition some things to use. Yeah, good throw. No, they got that perfectly. Top 4.
And that's great communication because you're right. Because usually after the fourth end break, sometimes ice slows down a bit. So we really need to be mindful of
what the change is. Yeah.
And this is why sometimes the stopwatches are good for the other teams because you can time the other team.
You can time path. Yeah.
And then you can relay that information to your players.
Exactly. So now the PI has to decide. Okay, do we want to hit and play an open fifth end? It looks like that's what they're going to do.
So they'll carry it on, and hopefully then they'll try in the second end or in the sixth end to score their deuce.
Yeah.
This is not a bad call because it's nice to have the hammer and even ends.
It is, especially in the second half of the game, for sure.
So we're going to do an update across the sheet now. It looks like on sheet A, Alberta is 2 and Saskatchewan 0. Again, Quebec is 4 with PEI 2. And on sheet D, we have New Brunswick boys 3 and BC 0. And on sheet E, Ontario 3, BC 0 for the females, the girls.
Yeah. So
all close games.
Yeah, very good. Very close games. Yeah.
It's nice to see all the signs out around the arenas, and people actually bring flags with them and signs from their associations, and a lot of their towns get involved and sponsors.
It's awesome.
There's some amazing sponsors here, and without this event, you need your sponsors, and they're so supportive.
For sure. Yeah, you couldn't run the event without sponsors and volunteers, for sure.
And a shout out to the volunteers here. They have been amazing. It's only the first few days, but they're smiling with their blue jackets on. They're all around, and anything you need, they're there to help you. So the volunteers are amazing. So shout out to the volunteers here.
For sure.
Okay, and I think this is going to be a pretty open end.
This is going to be one of those ends where it's going to go just up and down. They're just going to trade hits, and hopefully we'll get some action going in the sixth end. But you never know. You get a hit again. You get a hit and roll out, or a miss, and it changes the end. And you look at the opportunity that's given and say, okay, well we can go for our 2 now. It's all about opportunities, Leslie, and it's all about recognizing when the other team gives you an opportunity.
So a lot of the teams are still using the directional sweeping or the one sweeper?
The one sweeper, yeah. I still believe that with something a soft weight, you can kind of hold it. I'm not a firm believer that I see a lot of teams still trying to maneuver the rock to curl more when it's a little bit heavy, like to try to get a freeze in the back of the rings. But if the rock's already through the ring weight or hack weight, I don't believe you can do that. And even if it's a few feet heavy, I feel like the directional sweeping just hurts it. It just doesn't allow it to take the natural curl, and you're actually sweeping it by your intended target.
And I think a lot of the elite players are now doing that. They don't do a lot of the sweeping on the upweight hits
because it really doesn't. I think it's good for holding a rock.
Yes.
But I don't think you can get the movement that, especially at this age, as well as the fact that these young men and women are strong and good sweepers. I don't think they can affect those that are overthrown.
Okay, they're just going to play
Yeah.
another open hit.
Yeah, so it gives one team an advantage to play lots of draws to get a feel for draw weight, and the other team is going to PEI is going to work on their hit weights and make sure they can throw the weight called. I think that's another thing that we coaches talk a lot about, but a lot of shots are missed because of the wrong weight. It's not that they missed the broom so much, but if the skip is expecting 11-second hit and he gets a 9-second hit, then it's not going to work, and they're going to be misses, and then people are going to be. But if you can throw the same weight, if your control weight, whatever it is for your team, is consistent among your players, you're going to make a lot more shots.
And as coaches, that's what we try to teach, because it's really hard to broom. So try to get the players to understand that as a skip, you need to know where to put the broom. So the more consistent the weight, the more it is easier for you to read the ice.
Yeah.
Know where to put your broom placement.
Exactly. This one, something might have happened because this one's really light, and the sweepers backed off, in fact, to let it hog, if you will, so that it wouldn't become a guard. So they might have picked it out of his hand, or because that's a lot light. But now there's the opportunity we talked about.
And the switching in your strategy.
Switching, going from defense to offense. Yeah, exactly. So now we talk too, Leslie, about one of the hardest things to do is to throw a lot of hits, and then you have to throw a draw. But it looks like we're going to get it, yeah.
Great sweeping by PEI.
Yeah.
It's in the house. So Quebec are going to try to take the yellow one out.
Yeah. Okay. Job one was to remove it. A little bit wide off the bat, and they were trying to sweep it over, but the hit and roll out again. Not controlling that shooter, not keeping it in the rings, gives
PEI the opportunity to come around again.
To come around to try and get score some points. Okay, so looks like a good one. A little bit warm, but could be in the back rings. Yep, back four. So it still is. It's a dangerous rock. Quebec's got to make a play on it. Too dangerous to try and freeze down to that, Leslie Ann. It brings 2 or 3 into play by.
If you're up by 2 points, you don't need.
You don't need to score right now.
A 4-1 would be great here for them.
Yeah, that's what they've been doing. So in the first half, so stick with that plan.
I like that Quebec has a really good game plan and they stick to it.
They are. And this is a little nicer weight. This is a control weight. I think the previous shot was a little bit up weight, but this is okay. Just maybe a little hair wide, but they had to err on that side. Again, you talked about earlier about missing on the correct side. They didn't want to be tight there.
No.
They could afford to hit and roll out and force PEI to draw again, but they couldn't afford to be light and wreck on the guard. So good kudos for them.
So PEI are going to come try to draw around again. And this is Skip's first stone.
Yeah, Mr. Shoot's going to try and come around, top 4, buried, and get a Skip's deuce out of this. Solid deliveries. I notice a lot more young people are getting up a little bit. The heels coming off the ice.
Yeah.
I think it's because of the way the shoes are manufactured now. They're not full sliders, and with the brushing technique too. Some of the stronger brushers get up on their balls of their feet when they're brushing. So you have the split sliders or the discs. Anyway, good draw. Back four. Forces Quebec to make a good shot.
So he's trying to see how much of it he can see.
Yeah.
So he can hit here, and if he hits and rolls out, then that gives PEI a chance to blank the end.
Yeah. Yeah, and in this case, I think, I think he is probably trying to hit and roll out. Oh, no, he could hit and stay and then make the shot tougher. That would be a better way to force if he hit and rolled behind the guard. Then it's definitely forcing him. If he hits and rolls out, then
it's an easy blank.
It's an easy blank, yeah, sorry. Yeah, no, I like this sort of weight here.
Seems a little bit less, hey?
A little bit less, yeah. Yeah, this is nice, on and off sweeping.
That's a great shot by Quebec.
That's a really good shot. Yeah, that brings that force. He's got to be a pretty tough hit and roll, I think. It's hard to tell how buried it is from our vantage point, but it looks like it's perfectly in there. It is a long guard, though, so they are going to try to play a hit, it looks like. They're only giving about, I don't know, a foot of ice, a little more.
So as long as they can see...
As long as they can see part of it and hit and roll out.
It's not a bad call.
No, blank here and try to get your two in 6.
If you score in 6 a lot of times, then you have the advantage going into the last 2 ends. A lot of teams will always try to say score in 6.
Yeah. Yeah, the thought of having hammer in 6 and 8, 2 hammers to 1 is...
Okay, I think that was a steal of 1.
Yeah, unfortunately, going after that to try and do that, it's a little bit wide.
So Quebec now 5-3 after.
Yeah. Yeah, the officials give them about 30 seconds after the end is over to clear the rocks and get ready for the next end, and they have to put the score up first, and then the teams can start the next end. So we just have a little bit of wait here until they can actually throw the rock.
Okay, Quebec is ready to go.
Yeah, Quebec's ready to go.
I would suggest again he should be going top 4.
Top 4, I'm pretty sure. Yep, that's where his indication. So he's over. So we're looking at about 4 feet there, because I think he was on the edge of 12 when he put the broom. So it's not heavy.
Nope.
And we don't want to leave a guard. So again, we talk about the tolerance. I think they've got it there. Good brushing from those guys.
Great sweeping from the guys from Quebec.
Yeah, excellent sweeping.
So now they're going to be forced to throw it. They're going to want a corner guard here.
Definitely, they have to go on offense now. It's the 6th end. They're down by 3. You're going to use the free guard zone for as long as you can. Set up 2 corner guards and try to get something buried.
So, Murray, right now it's a 4-rock rule. I think they're talking about a 5-rock rule for next year. So will that include juniors and all levels of curling?
I think once it's ratified by the World Curling Federation and Curling Canada will take it up, and then it will be brought into play by all the provinces as well. Yeah, I think it will. Again, it'll make a difference in the higher ranks that of curlers, but. For the average club curler, I don't think it's going to make a lot of difference. But for the competitive curlers, it'll give a chance for more offense.
Yeah, I think now a lot of the curlers in their clubs, if they get a chance, some of the really competitive curlers should probably get out and do some Five Rock rule stuff with the kids, so they can help them along.
Yeah.
And that would help with so the elite curlers get out to your curling clubs and try to help out with the Five Rock rule that they've played.
Yeah, yeah. Talk to the young people at your club and give them an idea of how you can use that free guard zone when you're behind to create some offense.
I think there'll be a lot of high scores then in the next year or so when they're trying to adjust to the Five Rock rule.
Well, I think that, you know, when we look at the elite curlers, when we watch some of those games, that they do have a lot of rocks in play, but because they have such great hitting ability and all of a sudden rocks are gone. So with that extra rock in free guard zone, you can see more offense coming.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to learn to play it a little bit different because we don't have the 7-second peel weight that.
Right.
So it looks like Quebec now are sitting 2, and they still need.
They're doing a great job of forcing PEI. They really are. PEI's got to make a little hit and a little roll.
That was a great shot by PEI.
That's a nice shot because you controlled it. The great thing was controlling the shooter.
So now Quebec are going to peel the front.
Yeah, there's no need for guards for Quebec. They don't have to score anymore. They just have to limit their opposition from scoring. Go on defense. Okay,
we're back again.
So, as the ends is played out here, PEI does have a couple of corner guards, so that now they have some options to work with. So they have a couple of corner guards. There is one rock behind the tee line. They are sitting shot rock, so Quebec's going to try and make a play on it, but the situation's a lot better for PEI now.
And another option would be actually to get rid of the corner guard versus the rock in the house. Because the one that's going to get you in trouble, I think, sometimes is the corner guard.
Yeah, sometimes again, it goes back to your comment earlier about worrying too much about shot rock. Fortunately for Quebec, their tolerance, their miss was to be tight, and instead of getting the one in the rings, they got the corner. So, you know, that's what we talked about. Smart play, recognizing where you can miss.
And PEI are being very patient. They're putting up another corner guard, so they're setting their end plan.
That's right. They're not worrying about the red rocks that are in play, and set up a corner. Get your deuce that way. So no, it's really good. Both these teams are well coached. Coach, PEI coach Laurie Robinson, and coach for Quebec is Martin Adam. Well done to both of them. Yeah. The guard didn't come right to where they wanted to. It's left the shot rock exposed.
Quebec are still going after the shot rock.
They're going after the shot.
Again, this is not a wrong call. It's just
No.
that if the guards are in front, they can probably sometimes get you into a bit of trouble.
Yeah.
Okay, so for people wanting to know the scores, Alberta is 4 and Saskatchewan is 0 on sheet A. Nice hit by Quebec.
Nice hit.
Okay, and then on sheet D, we have New Brunswick is 3, BC 1 on the males, and then on sheet E, Ontario's 3 and BC is 0.
Okay, caught up in the arena. We don't really have scores for the other games going on in the club.
Okay, so I think now.
Okay, so now we've got to make a nice hit and roll behind the guard now. There's not too many options here. We've got to try and hide behind something. An option would be to, instead of playing a total hit, would be to try just to tap them back into the back rings and build up a wall in the back of the house.
Yes, because you have to score right here. So
You
you have
gotta
to be,
score.
You have to be mindful that you have to
Yeah.
have access and make sure that you have an option that you'll definitely get your one at least.
Yes, that's for sure.
And Quebec now are just going to hit this one.
Yep, they're just going to hit yellow now.
Go ahead.
They're working on it,
Go
though.
hard for a piece.
It's curling. They got a piece.
So now they can hit and roll, or they can actually.
Yeah, that red rock at the top of the rings could be a dangerous rock. It could be promoted. So, as much as you want to see them draw in this situation, I think it's a good call to get the top of the rings open, hit and roll.
Because if they don't hit and roll this, what are some of the options that could happen?
Oh yeah, the other team could come down and
tap it back,
tap
maybe?
it back,
Yeah.
and then they're lying 3, and that's and then the middle's clogged for your last shot.
So I really like this call.
Yeah, I like it too. Yeah. Oh, got a little jam that.
So Quebec are definitely going to go up and try to hit this one out.
Yeah. Hit this and lie 2. Stick with their really good game plan so far and try to force PEI to 1.
I like that they're looking to make sure that where they need to hit so they don't jam, so they have a lot of communication about that.
Yeah.
So I don't even think they'd mind hitting and rolling away and rolling out of the house, because they actually don't need rocks in play either.
They don't. They want to limit the rocks in play that their opponents can use against them. So yeah, even if they rolled out of play. It's got the broom pretty tight to the rock, so it's probably going to be a normal, probably a 9-second hit.
So
Well, at
Murray,
least it's
explain
more
what
than
the
that.
difference is between normal and control weight, would you say?
A lot of teams will go strictly by numbers instead of the words, but a normal weight for a team of this age, you'd be looking at, and even for U21s, you'd be looking at a normal of about 9 seconds hog to hog, and most all of your team members can throw that fairly easily, so that would be kind of your normal or base weight, and then you would go from there. If you want to throw peel weight, you're looking at an 8-second hit, and then if you want to throw a control, you're probably looking at around 10 seconds, 10-5 in there, and the control weight is basically just what it says. It's to really control the shooter. You can throw board weights but board weights and hack weights would be more if you're coming around guards and wanting to hit.
More finesse shots?
More finesse shots,
Yeah.
exactly.
So it looks like PEI kind of draw around the guard that they...
Yeah, they were given that opportunity. Just going to try and see if we can get, still hasn't given up on getting a 2. Come around that, their own guard in the center, and maybe use that back red one as for a jam possibility. No, that's a good shot. Very good. if they don't hit, if Quebec doesn't hit it the right way, there's a jam possibility, and it would give PEI a chance for 2. So just got to be careful. They make it, they make the hit where they want.
So it looks like the skip can throw a nice, accurate
Yeah.
hit weight.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to be throwing an out turn at this. Yeah, looks like it's good weight. You can just pick it out of there too. Okay, did it.
Great shot.
Got away without the jam.
So PEI are just going to peel this out and then regroup.
Yeah.
And go to 7.
They've decided to hit and roll out, blank the end, keep the hammer for N7. Looks like the plan would be to score their 2 in 7 and steal in 8. Take it to an extra and steal in 9, the extra end. They could have taken 1 here, but by taking 1 here, you're down 2, and you have to steal a lot too.
So again, you're right. I'm pretty sure that they have this discussion and they know exactly what they're playing in the ends, so they know what they need to do.
Yeah, they know. A lot of teams will be, especially discussing the last end. Would you rather be coming home 1 up without hammer? Would you rather be down 1 with hammer? So it really goes back to that team philosophy, team DNA. What do you like to do? You like to, do you want to control it by being ahead and throwing up the first rock, or do you want to have hammer and score your 2 in the last end to win?
What's great about this environment too are that the coaches are on ice level, so they actually get to talk to their players in between ends. So it's a great learning experience for everybody here.
I totally agree. You know, this, as much as this is a national championship, this is still a developmental. We're still developing athletes.
And there are kids as young as 11 and 12 year old here, so it's
so being on the arena and being able to just converse for that, you know, say 20 seconds between ends. Sometimes could be just a conversation of things are, you know, don't worry, things are going to turn around if you're down a bit, or just give some positive vibes there. And yeah, it doesn't always have to be about strategy. Sometimes it's about looking at your team and seeing if somebody's shoulders are slumped or whatever.
And and you get to see their body language, and they actually have it set up over at the curling club also. So the coaches have the ability to be sitting on the ice at the curling club, which is very rare, but it's an excellent plan. I think it's an excellent idea.
Yeah, we are these great athletes, the young age, but they're still developing. So it's great that the coaches can have some interaction. Can't do anything during the game, during the end, but in between ends, there's that 30 seconds that they can converse.
So Quebec went through on the first one, then there's the corner guard up, and I think Quebec are going to try to just block off the path of that corner guard. Just come in the house?
Yeah, just you want to throw 1 through, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of throwing them both through. Like put 1 in the house somewhere. And
I like the option sometimes of putting the first one in and then throwing the second one through. Because,
me too.
Because then it makes the team decide.
Yeah.
The other team what they're going to do. So I like the option of putting 1 in, then throwing through.
Yeah. I agree with you there.
Great shot though by Quebec.
But it is a good shot. So we can't fault what they're doing. They have a really good game plan, and they have good end plans.
And somebody once said to me, "There's no wrong call if you execute."
That's right. I think that was my first coaching lesson when I talked to a really good coach back in Niagara Falls. It was the best strategy is execution. So.
Yes. Okay, for updates on sheet A, Alberta 4, Saskatchewan scored 1. On sheet D, we have New Brunswick 3 and BC scored 1 in the men's. And then we have on sheet E, Ontario 3 and BC ladies. And BC scored 1, so it's 3-1 for Ontario.
All good games, all within 3 of each other, so anything can happen in the last couple of ends for sure. A miss here and a really good make there. You can get your 2 and possibly 3.
So Quebec are just going to start peeling off guards right now.
Yeah.
Murray, I tell you what else I found is that the kids now are being coached at such a high level and at such an early age. When they go to the clubs, they know so much, can help so much more for the younger kids.
Yeah.
So our curling program, our 14 and 15-year-olds are helping with our programs, and
Yes.
they're so knowledgeable. Like they have
They
so
are.
much information.
Yes, for sure.
So a lot of the camps that we do that they
Yep.
get to attend.
Yeah. No, we at Brock University we do a lot of stuff with elementary and also high school. We have a high school bonspiel every year that we invite high school teams, and in that it's instructional. They play, but we also have Brock athletes, curlers, give them instruction in between. So it's all about development, and it's great. I think the younger people really take to, 1 or 2 age groups older than them.
Yes.
They really, we could say the same thing, Lesley-Ann, 1,000 times, and then somebody else could say it, and they'll, oh, okay, that's what they mean.
I've done that at our club. I've tried to teach some kids some strategy, and they're listening, but they're not
Yeah.
listening. And then
Yeah.
I'll get Brett to come in,
Yeah.
or Jeff, and they'll say the same thing I've said.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay.
Okay.
No, that's great, and I think we're doing a good job, and I definitely think there's room for improvement on developing coaches too. But we are developing a lot of great coaches.
But I find the kids are interested in coaching now.
The
Like they
kids,
really embrace it,
Yeah,
and they're in your clubs and they're helping out at a young
Yeah.
age.
yeah. A lot of youngsters are young men and women in the university college ranks and junior ranks are taking the coaching courses, NCCP courses. So they'll be helping out a lot earlier.
Yes, we did an NCCP course, and an actual full team came, and they did it just as much for coaching as for learning
Wow.
strategies and development. So it was
Isn't-
really cool to see a young, and they were all 14, 15 years old.
Isn't that great?
So it
That's
was
a great idea.
And it was fun to watch them engaged and
Yeah.
talking to the older people about different
Yeah.
strategies and stuff. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Okay, so Quebec now are sitting 1 with a guard, and PEI are throwing up a guard.
I think they're coming to try and freeze.
Are they?
I think they've got that recipe for scoring. You need points, you need rocks behind the tee line and guards. But I'm not sure where this one. I would have been freezing down to the red
Yeah,
one
I thought I
and
saw
used the
yeah.
freeze, but it looked like he was throwing the other turn.
Yeah, I think he motioned for just up front, so I don't know if they
Oh.
were probably
Yeah,
hoping for a jam.
Maybe.
Quebec have been very accurate on their peels.
They really have.
They're,
Yeah.
they're a solid. Both are solid teams.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we just had a couple of early misses from PEI and a couple of hits that allowed Quebec to get 2s. But there we go. Quebec
go.
is. Yeah, let's use that rock behind the tee line and see if we can freeze down to it and generate a couple of points.
Following the rock down,
Yeah,
so hopefully.
hopefully. And say we'd like to see somebody cleaning, because it must be a little bit. Oh, they're trying to see. This is where I'm not so sure. Okay, it's curling in nicely. They judge the weight really well. That's the other thing about sweeping. We can have the strongest brushers, but if they can't judge the weight, these young guys judged it pretty well.
That's how I always like to have one stopwatch and one without, so that way you can watch the rocks and watch the path.
Yeah.
It's a great skill to have.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, it forces Quebec into a tough shot here. The jam is definitely there. They have to hit it, come across the face of the yellow to scoot it out the other way. And again, this is not big weight, but got a little bit outside, and just what PEI was hoping for.
So now PEI is in a great position to get their deuce, hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah, they could play a split on this, split it behind the corner, and the shooter go behind the one biting the top 12, or we could just come around, just draw around it. Lots of options. Depends on your philosophy and your choice of tactic.
I like this call. This is because if they go around the other corner guard, then the possibility is there that they can hit out or tap.
Yes.
So I like this.
No,
it's a good call.
Yep. Gotta go a little bit.
It's maybe a little short.
Yeah, gotta go. They didn't seem too concerned, the brushers, at the beginning. So it might have fooled them a little bit.
They may need to keep an eye on the paths now to make sure that the ice is not slowing down.
Yeah.
So they need to.
Yeah, or and for sure that's a definite possibility. But maybe the young fellow throwing it, maybe his tolerance, he didn't want to be heavy and throw it through the ring. So, he might have got caught a little bit there.
This is a danger rock for Quebec, so they're going to get this out of the way, hopefully. Yeah. There's no problem with time here. I think they're really good on their time clocks. They're really good for the time management. It's awesome.
Really good. Oh, there's a long. That was a great shot.
That was a pistol by Quebec.
Yeah.
But there's still guards in front, so there's still the option there that there's the possibility of their deuce. Yeah, and the way that shooter rolled, it overlapped, so it's a perfect double guard for PEI to use. Now it's up to them to sink one, and the 2 is still on the table. That's what's so great. Is they still have a chance to get a 2 and get right back into it. I think that's been this game, Leslie, has been the most impressive. What we've been talking about is having a game plan, having an end plan. These two teams, we're always going to get some misses here and there, but boy, they carried out their plans pretty well. Yeah, and the PEI skips made some great draws this game. So
yeah.
He's going to want to tuck this behind the 2 guards.
Yeah, no. Let's see if Mitchell can get one in there, get one in behind those double guards and make it so it's not accessible. And weight looks pretty good.
It does.
So it's all about line now, I think. Will they get it to curl enough? That's the big question. It's just a little bit light. If it was another 4 feet, I think T-line weight or maybe a touch more, it would have carried on to be behind those guards. But at top 12, it's pretty much wide open now.
So Quebec is going to peel out that yellow one.
Yeah, and that's what they should be thinking, is just peel it out and not worry about keeping their rock in play at all. Just get rid of yellow.
So then the question is, would you take your 1?
Yeah, I think that's why when we go back to S6, got a little bonus there.
Oh, it's in there.
Got a little bonus. on tapping in your own rock to lie 1. Yeah, going back to 6. That's the only thing about that. I know you want to set up for your deuce, but I think here you pretty much have to take 1.
You have to take 1 here. You can't be
you
down 3.
You can't be down 3. Unless you're really confident, but there's been no evidence that Quebec has allowed you to set up for even a 2. You know, they've pretty well forced PEI into 1 every time they've had hammer. So
I think this is a good play for the PEIs. Take your 1 and then
take your 1 and see if you can steal. See what happens when you put pressure on the other team and try to steal 2. You never know. Sometimes stealing 2, you're trying to steal 1 and you get more. So, let's hope he's not heavy here. Looks a little warm.
Looks a little warm.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah. Yeah, draw weight early in the game, but his last couple have been a little bit heavy.
Again, and that's different paths.
Different, yeah, for sure. The adrenaline. Yeah, all about a learning experience for these young people. All about developing. Yeah, so it's a steal, 1-6-2.
So I would suggest first rock will be going through for the Quebec team.
I would think so. First 2 for sure. They're not even waiting for their time. Their 30 seconds. They're raring to go. They got a big lead. Let's get this end going.
At what point do you think it's a good idea to throw rock throughs? At what end? If you're up by 3 or 4.
Well, that's a good question. If you're up by 3 or 4, like we talked earlier, if it was only in the 6th end, I think I'd still be inclined to put my first 1 in and then throw through. But this last end, no doubt, throw them through.
Yeah, I agree. I like wait until the 8th end.
Yeah, wait till the 8th. Yeah.
Because sometimes if you go away from your game plan, then what happens is.
Yeah, exactly.
So now we need 2 corner. We need 2 story center from.
Yeah, we need some corner guards.
Corner guards.
Yeah. Yeah, PI is gonna be hoping get some corners up, and so it looks like they're gonna try and Quebec gonna try and play a tick here. See how that goes. Not too many teams at this level practice the tick, I don't think, and I'm not so sure that they need to have that in the repertoire at this time, but looks like they're going to give it a go.
So
looks a little warm for that, so it's.
But the option is to make sure that the rock is out of place.
Exactly. Yeah.
He'll throw up another corner guard.
Yeah, the old saying is you need to score 3 points, you need 2 corners. But they're in a little bit more of a situation where they need 4 to tie, so they're going to need some help. Not giving up, though. That's what's great about it. They're not giving up. They're trying to get those corners up.
And they still have a lot of games left, so they they just want to stay out and probably get their weight down and their.
Okay, we'll see how Quebec they peeled earlier very well in previous end, so they're on a mission to peel these Yellowstones out. 1 at least.
So Murray, do the players go back from arena to club? And I wonder, is the ice much different? I don't think it is. I was over there last night. The ice was running around 14 and a half, and it was really nice over there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that there'll be a little bit of discussion when they do go back. Okay, we're on the arena, we're on the club, but these ice maker, head ice maker Chris Tapley and his crew, they're gonna do their best to have both the club and the arena be very similar. So I don't think there'll be a big of adjustment.
And Quebec just Had a miss, they had a flash.
Yeah,
And I find sometimes what the kids will, or what players will do is instead of throwing the right weight at the broom, they're trying to make the rock go away. And
exactly.
they sometimes just overthrow it that little tiny bit.
Yep.
So you just need to throw the right weight at the broom.
Yeah, you can make a peel with less weight if you hit it in the right spot. I think the reason we throw the big weight is that if you catch a piece of it, you're going to get rid of it. But
my skip used to say I could play the best board plus peel weight ever.
There you go. You just hit it in the right spot.
So he's going to try again.
Yeah, we're going to try again for that top one. That's the most dangerous one. It's the one that you could hide more rocks behind that one. So they want to get rid of that one first.
This seems like better weight.
This does. This doesn't seem like it's overthrown.
Nice shot.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely a little bit less than the first attempt. So. We'll put another couple corners up, but they can't go too many because they got to get 4 in the ring somehow and score 4.
So would you ever consider putting up the corner guard on the same side?
And on the same side, and just try to load that side. Yeah, for sure.
That would be another option.
That is a good option. Yeah. It's the risk reward. I mean, by grouping the guards together, you know, the chances for double peel come up, but you're pretty much got to take the highest risk you can to score 4. So I agree with you. I'd probably put up the same side corners and try and get around them.
And so we normally tell people they should always peel the guard, the rock in front. But at this point, eliminating rocks is the best option because if they're not in the house, then they can't score.
Exactly. And it's don't always have to go exactly by the book. Look at the situation and say, hey, you know what? I know that's a corner guard, but we can make a double here and get rid of 2 yellows. So
this
good
is a great call.
Yeah. But unfortunately, and don't forget, this age group, they're still learning. So a little bit of a pretty big miss there. The only good thing for Quebec is that both of these yellow stones are open. We're going to try, or PEI is going to try and guard them, see if they can get another miss. Sometimes too, Leslie, I know you find with younger people, it's a little harder to close out a game. You have a big lead and you miss some shots because you just the adrenaline's going and you're thinking, okay, I got this in the bag, and then your focus, you lose a little bit of focus.
I always try to teach my players that if they're in a shot, just reset.
Just reset.
Just take your time. You have just deep breath and out to the broom.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to try for a run back. Either a run back or straight peel. Just get rid of yellow. That's all Quebec's thinking.
Make the yellow go away.
Yep. Okay, there's a good shot.
That's a great shot.
There you go. That changes the end around a bit. Still leaves the guard, but how many yellows are left? We only have 3 left. So we got 1 in the rings, and they've got to make all 3 of these ones count.
All yellow have to count right now.
Yeah.
So this afternoon at the 2 o'clock game, it looks like Newfoundland and New Brunswick will be live stream in the men's pool.
Okay.
So, and I think both these teams were here last year, minus a few players.
Mm-hmm.
So they have some experience at the U18s?
There is some.
So it looks like PEI are going to try to come
Come
around.
around. I don't know if there's enough room to come around from the outside in, Just keep coming down that middle path that they know best.
And a lot of players don't tend to do that. If you do that, it's go outside in around your corner guards.
Right.
And sometimes the curl is there, and it's a better way to get in.
Yeah. And in this situation, they have to be in.
This looks like it's going to be a good
This
shot.
good. Yep. Keep it going.
That's a great shot.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
Okay, so quick update across the ice again for people. On sheet A, Alberta 5, Saskatchewan is 1. And on sheet D, we have New Brunswick 5, BC 1. And on sheet E, Ontario girls 4 and BC 1. And they're all playing 7th end or 8-7.
Yeah, Saskatchewan, Alberta guys, they're pretty quick. They're in their 8th end.
8th end. Okay, so Quebec is going to peel the yellow out because this is the one again that could get them in trouble. I like this call now.
Me too. Yeah, because the other two are behind it. This is their danger rock. They get rid of this, then PEI doesn't have very many places to hide. Good call, good throw. Didn't overthrow it. This is one of those guards that has to be in the rings. And
yes. Oh.
Timeout. Well, it's a good call. I think this is a great call for the young teams to call a timeout and just go over all of your options. Get your coach out there and go through some options.
It's funny, I find a lot of times, though, when they make the first call, it's correct. They put the broom down, and sometimes they talk themselves out of the call.
They talk themselves out of it. I agree there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's the only place that you can put that there to...
I think that's the only place, too, but, yeah. And it'll probably go back to his first initial thought, but why not take your 90 seconds to say, hey, coach. Of course, they don't call the timeout until we're down 6-2 and got one rock left. Hey, coach, what do we do now?
It's funny, though. It's that I think that is the correct call, and it was his first instinct.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I think the coach agrees too.
I like that it looks like they let them go through their thought process.
That's right.
So that then they can understand what the reasons are behind their shots.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's one of our roles as coaches is kind of to facilitate, kind of guide our athletes and let them go through the options and say, okay, this one works best for us, and let's give it a go. And if we make it, fine. And
yeah, I'm a firm believer that if you tell them, they probably won't remember. But if they understand it and come up with it themselves, then a lot of times that they'll remember the process and what they're doing.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, it's coming down now. Got to make sure they're off the red. They don't want to rub the center guard. They just want to be top 8, half in the 8.
Looks like a good shot.
You know, under these circumstances, that's a pretty darn good shot. Again, we don't expect, or we shouldn't be expecting their tolerances to be the same as the top players that we see on TV. That's a pretty good, he's only a couple feet heavy, so that's a pretty good tolerance.
I would think there'll be a lot of weight coming at this rock.
I think so too, yeah. And of course, he's got to be careful. I don't think there's a weight in this, but you just got to get rid of one yellow rock.
He's thrown these really well today.
He has, yeah. There's no need to expect anything different.
No, what a great shot.
Great shot. That was a very good game.
Yes, they both played really, really well.
Both teams. We were very impressed, both of us, I think, by by the way they played and their plans and how they carried them out. Yeah, and how they recognized situations. Well, thanks a lot, Leslie. And this was great.
Yes, it was
for our
my
first time.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, so we'll see you back here at 2 o'clock.
Okay.